So today we're talking about dividing fractions. The cool thing about this is you kind of already know how to divide, because if you know how to multiply fractions, then you know how to divide fractions. All right, I'll tell you what I mean. To divide a fraction, we multiply it by its multiplicative inverse, or the reciprocal. We talked about these when we talked about number properties. So, for example, to divide 3 by 1/4, we flip over 1/4 into 4 over 1. 4 over 1 is really 4. So we just multiply 3 times 4 to get 12. You get the same result if you take 3 divided by 1/4, which equals 12, as if you multiply 3 by 4 and get 12. Okay, so let's try these. 1/3 divided by 5. So let's think of this as like 5 over 1. So you leave the first number, you change the multiplication or the division to a multiplication, and you change the 5 over 1 to a 1/5. We call this keep, change. Okay, if that helps you remember it. Or just flip and multiply. Now remember, when you're flipping, it's always the last one. Just flip the last one and multiply. So it's like you're reading it. I read 1/3 divided by, ooh, I see a division sign. Stop, change him, keep him, and change him. So keep, change. So now I can just multiply 1 on top and 15 on the bottom, and I'm done. Down here, 3/4. Ooh, I see a division sign, so I'm keeping the 3/4, change this, and change this to a 2 over 1. It's reciprocal, okay, or it's inverse, right? So here I can simplify. I can simplify within the problem something. I see a 2 and a 4, which I know can be simplified into a 1 and a 2. So 3 times 1 is 3, 2 times 1 is 2. Ooh, and I have a negative here. A positive times a negative is a negative. So I can then change this into an improper from an improper fraction to a mixed number, and I get 1 1/2, and it's a negative. Okay, go ahead and try these on your own. Pause the video. I'll be back in just a second to show you what to do. Like right now, 3/4, keep it, change it to a multiplication problem, and find the reciprocal. The 4s cancel each other out. I'm left with 3 over 1, or just 3. Here we've got a negative 4/5 times 9/8. So I'm going to simplify the 8 and the 4, and I'm left with 9 over 10, and a negative times a positive is a negative, so negative 9/10. Okay, here I'm going to keep the 5/6, change it to a multiplication, and just flip it over. So I've got a 6 and a 3, I can simplify that. A negative 5 over 4, but a negative times a negative is a positive. So we've got positive 5/4, and we simplify that to 1 1/4. Okay, so what if we've got these mixed numbers already? We've got to make them into improper fractions like we did when we were multiplying. So 3 times 3 plus 1. Remember, we have a 2/3 here divided by, so we're rewriting the problem. This would be 9 plus 1 would be 10/3. So rewrite the problem, and now we're going to change it into a multiplication problem. So 2/3 times 3/10. I can simplify and get 1 on both of these, simplify the 2 with the 10, and get a 1/5, and I'm left with 1/5 total. All right, so I want you to try these 3 for me. Pause the video. I'll be back in just a second to show you what to do. Okay, so this is like a 5 over 1, so we leave it 5 over 1 divided by, and then 1 times 3 is 3 plus 1 is 4, so 4/3. So now 5 over 1 times 3 over 4. 5 times 3 is 15, and over 4, so we've got 15/4, and that is improper. So 4 goes into 15, a total of 3 times, which would be 12, and 3 left over. So 3 3/4. Over here, negative 3/4 divided by, okay, 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3, so 3 halves. So negative 3/4 times 2 over 3. I can simplify these. 3 and 3 cancel out to 1. 2 and 4 cancel out into 2 goes into itself once, into 4 twice. A negative times a negative is a negative, or a negative times a positive, excuse me, is a negative. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, negative 1/2. Okay, over here, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so 7/3 divided by 5 over 1. Okay, so 7/3 times 1/5. I can't simplify anything. Can't simplify here, 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 or here. So 7 times 1 is 7, 3 times 5 is 15. There's no negatives, so it's just a positive. And that's all I have for you today. Hopefully, if this doesn't make sense, you need to go back and rewatch the multiplying fractions video. See you next time.